It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
It's very dangerous. Our temperatures are going to be in the negatives.
Shelters are preparing for an influx of people as Colorado gets set to see its coldest temperatures in 4 years.
Part of the state was mild today, but this big cold wave is coming our way.
Coloradans will soon have new options for where they can get vaccinated for COVID.
I feel comfortable saying now we are getting through this.
We have a look at the pharmacies now offering the shot starting tomorrow morning. An Aurora officer fired for excessive force after a fellow officer raised a red flag. Plus, House Democrats finished their arguments in former President Trump's second impeachment trial.
This was not a hidden crime. The president told them to be there.
We look ahead to tomorrow when Trump's defense team is expected to push back. A mother's relationship with her daughter destroyed by drugs.
I know it was 6 times a fatal dose of fentanyl.
Knowing she won't get her only child back, she's hoping to alert other parents to a dangerous drug becoming more common in Colorado.
If you get this by accident, you don't get a second chance.
Good Thursday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. We hope you're cozy inside because you'll likely want to stay there for the next couple of days. Temperatures are plunging. We start with Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson. Mike, we're flirting with the single digits tonight.
We are, as a matter of fact, Jessica. Temperatures are very cold. Denver out across the northeastern part of the metro area with single digits and teens. Aurora Reservoir currently at 8, same as Strasburg. Elizabeth is down to 7 degrees. But look at this. Frazier's 36. Not very often you see that as the warmest spot around. That's because the cold air is out across the eastern plains of Colorado, and it doesn't flow uphill very heavy. It's cold, it's dense, and so it's going to take a while to get up there. But there's a cold front that is actually pushing back toward the southwest across the state. As it does, we're going to get snow in the mountains and may see as much as a foot of snow in the northern mountains in the next 36 hours. Wind chill advisories on the plains. There are a few flurries around the metro area. The headlines for tonight will get a little bit of light snow, but the main story is heavy-duty cold. Metro snow this weekend, maybe 2 to 4 inches with heavier mountain snow, and there'll be areas of freezing fog out across the eastern plains. Just how low it's going to go, I'll have the details in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Mike. The city of Denver is allowing workers at its 4 COVID testing sites to stay home and out of the cold. The sites at Paco Sanchez Park, Green Valley Ranch Pool, Ruby Hill, and Denver Human Services East will all be closed the next 3 days. If you need a COVID test during that time, you can schedule one at covidcheckcolorado.org. More COVID vaccination sites are opening up across the state. Today, DU announced a partnership with National Jewish Health to vaccinate 3,800 people this weekend. The event will be on the DU campus on Sunday. The university says everyone must have appointments, and all appointments are filled. Tomorrow, you can also get vaccinated at King Soopers and Walmart. They're both part of the federal retail pharmacy program, so they get doses straight from the federal government. King Soopers started today. Walmart starts tomorrow. We tested out both companies' websites this afternoon. King Soopers' website said its vaccination slots were filled at half a dozen different locations around the Denver metro. Walmart's website wouldn't allow us to start making reservations until tomorrow. Today in a press conference with Denver Mayor Michael Hancock, the director of Denver's health department said 1 out of every 10 people in the city have at least 1 dose of the vaccine.
I recall saying that if we stick together, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. I feel comfortable saying now we are getting through this. We are seeing numbers going down across the country. There are still some states that have some very high numbers, still struggling with managing the pandemic. But here in Denver, our numbers are looking very good.
He says the city is seeing the greatest drop in cases since the start of the pandemic. The U.S. Capitol stands quiet tonight, but in the morning, former President Trump's legal team will defend him in the second impeachment trial he is facing. Today, House impeachment managers wrapped up their arguments, with Colorado Representatives Joe Neguse and Diana DeGette taking the floor. As ABC's Faith Abube reports, they introduced more evidence linking Trump's words to the actions of his supporters.
House impeachment managers concluding their argument against former President Donald Trump, saying his historic second impeachment trial is as much about the deadly January 6th insurrection
he struck a match and he aimed it straight at this building, at us.
As it is about the nation's future.
And think about it. Every foreign adversary considering attacking this building got to watch a dress rehearsal, and they saw that this Capitol could be overtaken.
Democrats taking senators who were seated as jurors through the January 6th Capitol Hill riot frame by frame, using the perspective of Trump's own supporters to show how the mob repeatedly echoed the former president's words.
All of you people really came up with, we will stop the steal.
Yeah!
Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
And then acted on his orders.
We are listening to Trump.
The impeachment managers arguing that Trump started encouraging the mob long before the insurrection, and even after the deadly siege, has shown no remorse.
People thought that what I said was totally appropriate.
You know, I'm not afraid of Donald Trump running again in 4 years. I'm afraid he's going to run again and lose, because he can do this again.
After 3 days of graphic and emotional videos from inside the riot, some Republicans saying they were moved by the Democrats' case.
They've done very well. I think that's generally conceded.
The evidence that has been presented thus far is pretty damning.
But the majority still a long way from voting with Democrats to convict Trump. The former president's defense lawyer saying the House manager's case lacked context.
Oh, I wouldn't prejudge anything, but he should not be convicted, I'll tell you that.
Trump's defense team will begin their opening arguments tomorrow. They've already indicated it'll be short because, quote, the trial never should have happened. On Capitol Hill, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Faith, thank you. An Aurora police officer has been fired for excessive force. The incident happened at a King Soopers in August of 2020 and was first made public this evening. After punching this man repeatedly, Officer Robert Rawson goes for his taser, using it 5 times for a total of 27 seconds. A fellow officer found Rawson's behavior concerning, and the department agreed. The man he assaulted was taken to the hospital and later released with minor injuries. More law enforcement agencies across the Front Range are hitting the panic button about a surge in fentanyl overdoses. They are warning people that street drugs may be laced with the highly addictive drug, and you might not even know it. Denver7's Addie Guajardo spoke with a mother in Fort Collins, hoping her story can help save lives and make a difference.
Some days it can feel gray and cold, not only outside, but inside the soul.
Beautiful girl, beautiful face.
Memories of her only daughter, 36-year-old Sarah Nixon.
She's very present, always.
Like her mother, she was creative.
Those faces up there on the wall are ones that she painted.
Rose admits Sarah was troubled growing up, and when she turned 21, she got in a car accident and was prescribed OxyContin. It marked the beginning of her downfall. Over the years, she was in and out of rehab.
She was a real heroin addict at that time.
Sarah was living in Pennsylvania when her mom got the call.
You need to call the hospital because, you know, Sarah's there.
The medical examiner found fentanyl in her system.
I know it was 6 times a fatal dose of fentanyl.
Sarah was aware of the dangerous drug.
She was afraid of fentanyl.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid that's similar to morphine, but more potent.
Fentanyl is 50 to 100 times stronger than an opioid.
Trina Fotz with the Boulder County Substance Use Advisory Group believes the pandemic has fueled overdoses.
2020 had a huge increase.
According to reporting from the Colorado Sun, overdose deaths involving fentanyl more than doubled in 2020. 452 deaths were reported compared to 214 in 2019. In Boulder County, multiple law enforcement agencies are warning people that street drugs like Xanax may be laced with fentanyl.
I miss her. I talk to her. I share things with her that's going on.
Sarah died in 2017, the day she was set to interview for cosmetology school.
She says at 36, going back to school seems a little scary.
A new life that never saw the light.
It says always loved, never forgotten.
Her pain is a testament and a warning.
If you get this by accident, you don't get a second chance.
Addie Guajardo, Denver7.
We really need to be able to respond to the urgent needs that Coloradans are facing.
Lawmakers are ready to get to work to provide relief for struggling Coloradans, but that's not all.
We have not fixed our transportation funding system in nearly 25 years.
We chat with 4 lawmakers about the biggest issues facing our state right now.
Say goodbye to any mild weather. This cold air is going to sweep across the state starting tomorrow.
And coming up later,
we are combining a day spa and a tap room into one.
Denver's first ever beer spa is open for business.
This is the hallway that leads back to our beer therapy room.